Hello, I'm Alex. Welcome back. This is section 7. Good job making it this far. Keep working at it. Just a couple more to go. This lesson, we will be talking about a new phrase we can use, which is get used to, or be used to. So, let's take a look and see what we have. Okay, so to be or to get used to, the idea here is that sometimes we need to describe situations that are not new or strange or are no longer new or strange, right? So when we learn something, when we're doing something for the first time, it's very strange, it's very uncomfortable, right? But after a while, it's not uncomfortable anymore. It's not strange anymore. So this describes this situation, right? This phrase describes this situation. So these situations we can use be used to or get used to. Now, let's take a look at the form here, okay? So we're going to have two different forms for this phrase, okay? First form, we have to be or to get used to, and then we put a noun at the end, okay? So remember, basically a noun is any object, person, thing, okay? So we can get used to Bob, okay? Get used to Bob. Bob used to be strange and new to us. Bob is not new or strange anymore. We can get used to cats, okay? We can also get used to money, okay? Money is a general thing, okay? So, get used to nouns, okay? We have a second form, which is to be or to get used to, and then you put a gerund at the end, okay? Now, a gerund is a verb in the ing form, okay? So, for example, running, or walking, or talking, okay? Those are all gerunds. So, you can get used to running. I'm trying to get used to running actually right now, trying to run more frequently. Or you can get used to walking, okay? You can walk so that you feel more comfortable with it, okay? So again, either a noun comes at the end, person, place, thing, idea, or a gerund, which is a verb in the ing form, okay? Let's take a look at some examples. So here are some that I came up with. I'm being a little bit sarcastic with this first one, but I'm used to winning, okay? So it means that winning used to be strange at some point, but now I win so often, I'm used to it. It's not strange anymore. I expect it. So I'm used to winning. Used to winning. All right, and notice, by the way, when native speakers say this, they will blur that together. So they won't necessarily say, I'm used to thinking, They won't necessarily say, I'm used to winning. They'll say, I'm used to winning. Used to. You don't have to do that, but just don't be alarmed if you hear it. Number 2, he is used to dogs. So he is used to dogs. All right, so dogs used to be strange or, alarming, something different. No, not so much. We know dogs. We are familiar with them. He is familiar with them. Okay, number 3, we got used to walking to school. All right, that means that walking to school used to be strange. Okay, now it's not. All right. And then lastly, you get used to working eventually, okay? Working might feel strange, might feel different, you get used to it, okay? Eventually, it is not strange anymore, okay? Now, take a look here and notice that I'm changing up these phrases and using the different forms, okay? So in this one, I'm using be, all right, to be used to for these first two. So in the first one, it's I am used to, okay? So I'm using I, and I'm conjugating that with to be. So I am used to something. And then I'm using it with he is. So conjugating it with he is. So instead of to be, it's he is used to dogs. Okay? And then down here I have different versions of to get used to something. So again, I'm conjugating it with we here. So we got used to something. And then I'm conjugating to get here with you get used to something, okay? And notice you can also play around with the tense a little bit, okay? I'm using the present tense for all of these, okay? So I am used to, he is used to, you get used to, except for this third one. This is past tense, okay? So you can play around with the tense here, right? He is already used to it. You know, that process happened in the past. It is finished. So, you know, we got used to walking to school. Just some examples, okay? And again, try these on your own, but don't be afraid to look these up for more explanations and some more examples if you need to later on. Okay, so you saw my examples. Now it's time for you to give a try. So I want you to take 5 minutes, try to write at least 5 realistic example sentences using to be used to or to get used to. And like I said before, try your best to come up with examples on your own before looking for help. But eventually, if you do still need to look up some help or some more examples, do feel free to do those. Just try it on your own first. Okay? So go ahead, take a pause, give it a few minutes to try. Okay, let's get back to it. All right. So let's end today with our journal activity. So today it's about giving advice. Imagine that you had somebody new join your work, your school, or your hobby. All right. So give advice for someone who is joining into that situation. Okay. So maybe it's someone who just started at your work and you want to give them some advice on, you know, how they can fit in, how they can do well. Same thing goes for school or maybe your hobby, right? Now, I want you to use at least 3 sentences with the phrase that we use today, to be or to get used to something. All right. A little piece of advice here is that this will work well with explaining what will become natural to somebody. So something might be challenging now at the beginning, but it could become normal. It could become something easier. So think about what you might describe in those situations for people. All right, so give it a try. Happy writing. Keep going. You're doing so great that you made it this far, and I will see you in the next lesson.